There's an obvious problem with the money that we all currently deal with. That's one thing that we cannot ignore. People across the world are feeling some kind of strain, some kind of change, some kind of difference. Welcome to the Freedom Culture. Here on the Freedom Culture, I like to discuss the current events in the financial sector, this new digital economy, and also breaking down blockchain technology in the most understandable terms possible. And on this episode, I'm going to discuss a little more about the liquidity crisis. There's so many angles to the problem that we all deal with, particularly in the economy. But today I'm going to discuss more about the liquidity crisis. Fundamentals. Like, I like to stick to the fundamentals. You feel me? Whenever there's a problem, there'll be a solution. Now, if there's an ongoing problem, I believe a proactive approach would be to study possible solutions, you know? And right now, so the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell just mentioned that he's keeping interest rates high at 6%. I'm sorry, at whatever percent we're at right now. I believe that's going to stay in at this level until we reach 6%. So we're going to deal with a stagflation. So what happens, a stagflation. So what happens here is with these high interest rates, the economy or the banks is feeling a strain. Businesses are having a hard time being able to get loans for their businesses. America thrives off of loans. There's so many collateral effects along with employment. If businesses aren't able to fund their business, they're going to start liquidating some assets, and that is employment. So another collateral effect is potential bank runs. So a lot of people is going to be trying to get their money out of the banks, and the news of a bank run will hit the rich people, the ones that's really their money, their life is all about business and money, before the regular people.
Protest over frozen bank deposits turned violent in Zhengzhou in China. Police clashing with demonstrators on Sunday. Demonstrators who were angry that some rural banks have kept millions of dollars frozen since April. At the time, the banks said they were upgrading their internal systems, but customers say they've heard nothing from the banks about the matter since then.
Michael, indeed such an extraordinary scene to see more than 1,000 people show up on Sunday morning to stage this rare protest in front of the provincial branch of the country's central bank, demanding their money back. Also, why the provincial authorities went to such great lengths, as you mentioned, even tampering with these people's health QR codes, which is such a basic necessity for anyone in China to leave their homes these days. But that effort really failed after a nationwide backlash, which is why this protest eventually took place, with demonstrators really training their fire at the local authorities, hurling the Chinese national flags and chanting slogans, with some banners accusing the local police of using violence against them and even calling for human rights and the rule of law. But their peaceful tactics really didn't make their protest last that long. After a few hours of standoff, you could see hundreds of local security personnel, many plainclothes agents charging towards this crowd, forcibly removing everyone, including the elderly and children. Anyone who resisted got kicked and punched, as some sustaining injuries, and got sent to local hospitals, according to some protesters, and most people got taken to nearby makeshift detention centers. But these protesters' actions really have garnered a lot of sympathy and support from around the country, because people feel they could relate to their situation, as these people were mostly low-income people who put their life savings into these banks because of their faith in the country's banking system. But then they, of course, lost almost everything.
That money is going to run out of the banks first, sort of like Silicon Valley, and then the regular people like us is going to run to the banks after. On this channel, I like to discuss being decentralized and having your assets outside of the bank as well. The United States is in debt. There's a accumulating debt every day. I'm talking trillions, by the trillion. The word trillion is getting tossed around, so to the point that people are not like really grasping how big that is. That's a lot of money, man. You know what I'm saying? So with America being so much in debt, it is concerns like this debt has to get paid back. You feel me? And a lot of banks could actually pay themselves back through a bail-in or a bail-out. Now, in a bail-out, that's when the banks get bailed out from the government with our tax money. Or we can choose a bail-in where the banks get bailed out with their own depositors, so that's your money. And then we also got the development of CBDCs and all that stuff. They're working on solutions. They're working on ways to band-aid the crisis. Things is not all peachy and nice.
Again, there's no inflation fight. Everybody knows it. They think you're too stupid to know that's not going on here. The Fed and other central banks coordinating their efforts to continue to inflate because we are in a full-blown liquidity crisis, which is getting worse. And people are smarter than they think they are. People are pulling their cash out of these institutions, okay? These banks are, the banking system, in case you're brand new here, again, we're in a full-blown crisis here. It's a liquidity crisis. The mechanism is just so in our face here. And the fact of the matter is, the system, as you all well know, is being deconstructed. They're destroying the current system, and the whole world economy is being brought to its knees. They want to bring the people down to their knees as well, so they beg for a solution.
So then we're going into the solution. The solution will be distributed ledger technology, blockchain technology. The way or the method for these banks, these large institutions, to be able to transport value at the speed of light, like an email. They need to transfer liquidity really fast, without any fees, with less fees, and just a whole lot more efficient. So that way it could be a more efficient economy. And right now the rails are being developed. We have private companies that's developing the fintech, the technology that'll be needed that would be useful for this new economy, that would be useful for the banks to to transport value across the world wherever is needed, that would be useful to bank the unbanked, So the whole digital asset, the whole cryptocurrency trend is kind of like a Trojan horse to get people more familiar with this concept. And the real deal, the real cryptocurrencies that would kind of, in my opinion, be the blue chip cryptos for this economy would be the ISO 222 compliant cryptos, the cryptocurrencies that has an international standard agreement to across the world. The G7 and even the BRICS nations have this one set agreement. Okay, this is the networks that we agree to transfer blockchain, to transfer value. This is going to be the payment rails for the interoperability, for that way this could connect with that. It's the whole new economy. This is the whole new digital economy. And in my stance is to invest in these cryptos, these blue chip cryptos, for the low right now, and kind of not be too focused on the popular, what's trending and stuff like that, because as we're focused on the next popping coin, there's a lot of developments happening here that's already regulated, that's already clean and compliant, over here with the ISO 222 cryptocurrencies. This is kind of like, this is their blueprint for world domination. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to get it for the low right now before everybody starts running there. You know what I'm saying? On this channel, I like to discuss a lot more about the ISO 222 cryptocurrencies in detail: XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, IOTA, HBAR, because this is the new world order. This is how things is going down, and it's good to get it for the low right now before it goes up. You know what I'm saying?
If that deteriorates, the collateral base shrinks, liquidity plunges, and markets drop. That's the big risk.
More importantly, I think, is how liquidity, and today, as many in the fintech community know, banks pre-fund accounts. There's almost $10 trillion parked as pre-funded accounts around the world, such that banks can then debit and credit and make those cross-border flows work. We have a product that allows banks, allows financial institutions, payment providers to not pre-fund, thus making that trillions of dollars more active. And we think by doing this, we really do accelerate the global engine of commerce.
Yeah, I'm excited to announce that, this morning, 9 a.m., we announced our newest product called Liquidity Hub. And in 2018, we started sourcing liquidity for moving cross-border payments from crypto exchanges. How many crypto developers do we really know out there that know how to securely source liquidity?
And how to use XRP as on-demand liquidity.
The only reason why you're here first is because you don't want to get slapped with regulations. But if you are indeed asking, then I am saying no. It's unconstitutional. You can't make your own currency. That is the federal government's job.
The problem here is hard cash is fading rapidly. That's just the way of the world right now. And Bitcoin is spreading. And if Bitcoin takes over, we are all in a world of hell. With eCoin, we control the ledger and the mining servers. We are the authority. I will make sure you have visibility into every single wallet that's open, every loan, every transaction, which means we can start making new assets, which means we can start rebuilding the banking sector without your having to inject even more politically unpalatable federal funds into it. This is going to be controlled by a good old-fashioned American company. You want to regulate it? Be my guest. Regulate the shit out of it.
That's all I'm going to leave you with. Peace, love, respect. Click the links below. Definitely do your research, do the knowledge. I'm coming out with more content on the way to simplify things and make it a whole lot more, get this information to become more digestible. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. But anyways, peace, love, respect. Enjoy your weekend. Holla at me.
They are a secret network of international pirates who identify with no nation, no national flag, and no established religion. Their flag is the skull and crossbones, and their god, G-O-D, spells gold, oil, and drugs.